here on the Indbeat TV show. Spring training right around the corner. I've got two baseball historians also that talked about the wonderful Detroit Tigers back then and now. Joe Stearns and Harvey Goodman here. Joe, let's get right to the point here, okay? What is it with the Tigers? Can they get to the World Series this year?
I personally feel they're a much improved team. They got speed, they got defense, they got relief pitching, and these are things they didn't have last year. And I think in a season with a new manager and new enthusiasm, this could be one of their great years. And I do look for them to win their division and possibly go to the World Series.
But Joe, we go into the point of years ago when you had 1961, when the Tigers were getting frustrated by the New York Yankees. You saw a lot of switches in what the manager had to do. 67 was another year. Again, do you think the Tigers are following kind of a plethora of what teams were in the past?
Not really. I think this is a brand new team, and every year brings you a new team. And I think you got a team that is the best team in the league for the last few years, even though they didn't get to the World Series and win it. But they got to it, but didn't win it. But I really feel with these changes, this is going to be terrific. And what they did with Fielder, and as good a ball player as he may have been, he wasn't worth the money he was getting. You're putting Cabrera back at first base. You got defense. You got a shortstop that they never had with tremendous range. You got Joe Nathan as a relief pitcher, and I think you're on your way to good things.
What is your passion, Joe, about the Tigers? What you have a past with the Tigers? You've worked with the Tigers?
Well, I mean, I worked as a kid as an usher and things, but I followed them in the 60s, and I remember the 68 year, which was a phenomenal year, when Mayo Smith took a center fielder and made a shortstop out of him to get his bat in the lineup in the World Series.
Is that Mickey Stanley?
That was Mickey Stanley,
okay,
right.
Okay.
And that took a lot of guts to do because he opened himself for criticism, but it worked out beautifully.
Harvey Goodman.
Yes.
Harvey, what passion is it for you to see the Tigers possibly win a world title this year?
Probably be a very exciting passion as far as I'm concerned, because I was at the 68 World Series. I attended every game, and I know the feeling and the excitement that the fans had at that particular occasion, particularly when they came from behind in that 3-1 series where they were losing, and all of a sudden they win 3 games like this. So, however they win it, nothing will really compete with that 68 World Series as far as I'm concerned. 84 was terrific also, when Kirk Gibson hit that home run. But I think the Tigers now are a unique team. They are a faster team than the ones in the past. They're not a plodding team. And I think with the type of talent that they have today, they will win the World Series this year.
And looking at, go back to the 68 team,
Yes.
Game 5. Was he out? Was Lou Brock out at home plate?
I feel it was very close to call, but I think if he would have slid, I think he would have possibly have made it. I think he was out.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yes, that's my, and I have talked to a lot of people regarding that, and they feel the same way as I do.
Who is your MVP on the Tigers beside Miguel Cabrera? Because Miguel's going to take the load. Who is going to be the key that's going to help Miguel? Like Victor Martinez, maybe?
I think we could use possibly another power-hitting left fielder or outfielder. Well, I do think Martinez is an excellent choice also to help him. He's not a home run hitter, but he sure drives in those RBIs. And when you have a guy like that on your side, he's money in the bank every time when he plays.
I like that, Joe. Money in the bank. It does help out tremendously.
Sure does.
Now, knowing that you've been a season ticket holder, and we're not changing sports here, of the Detroit Lions, so you felt a lot of pain on this. But the question, to go back to what the Tigers bring to you, what is baseball to you as a historian?
Baseball to me is just a way of life, and particularly in Michigan. I think we are such a great sports town. Detroit was called the hockey town of America, the baseball town of America, and I still think we are right at the top in that regard. I think with all the fans and all the exposure and the fact that they draw 3 million fans a year, whether they win or they don't win, they still draw the crowds. And that to me is epitome of a great, great fan base, and we do sure have it at Detroit.
Joe Stearns, Harvey Goodman here on the Indbeat TV show. We come back, we got breaking boxing news with Jermaine Paul right after this on Indbeat here in 02.